Somebody help me with this pronunciation. I'm gonna try it. Mephistopheles. Mephistopheles? Mephistopheles? Mephistopheles. One of those three is probably completely wrong. And you know what? I could shorten it. I could just call him Mephi, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna say the whole thing every time. And completely different every time, just for you. Because I love you so much. Mephistopheles, I think, is how you're supposed to say that.
상쾌한 아침.
Ah!
나는야 버스기사 카런.
I was shocked by the adorable cuteness with the cold upside down eyes. This is the person that I would have a crush on, and it would just turn out that she is just the most horrendous evil being on the entire planet.
아침은 아니지만 상쾌하긴 하겠어. 기분이 어떻습니까, 단테?
Whoever this is the guy that's been carrying everyone else. Well,
제각거리는군. 의사소통이 안 되는 건 제법 곤란한데. 저는 베르길리우스라고 합니다. 이 말이 제대로 들린다면 무언가 이해했다는 행동이라도 취하시죠, 단테.
I'm gonna call him Fergie. I gave him a quick nod. He didn't seem hostile.
좋아, 듣는 것엔 문제가 없군. 일단 출발하지, 카론.
출발할게. 부릉부릉.
That's so cute. I love her. I changed my mind. I love her. There was a heavy roar and vibrations as though they echoed from the bottom of a deep mire. It was then that I realized I was aboard a bus. You mean the giant bus that flattened the lion? You didn't realize that's where you were the whole time? Look around you. Wait, can we not see? Maybe we can't see out of the clock. I'm being an asshole to somebody that might be blind. I'm gonna hold off making fun of this dude until I figure out if all he has is hearing. A bus. I can't be sure if I've ever ridden such a vehicle in the past. Oh, he just doesn't know. The real problem is that he's just ignorant to the world. Maybe I shouldn't be so mean to the dude.
당신이 누구였는지는
But it's me. I can be mean to me. I'm mean to me all the time. I shook my head to say no. I had just been reminded that my head was now a clinking mechanism of sorts.
원래 기억을 되찾고 싶겠군.
That would be nice, yes. A massive lore dump beamed directly into my frontal lobe would be much appreciated, but the fun of Project Moon games is piecing that all together. I nodded. I sure felt like an idiot.
아, 매끄럽군. 다들 이렇게 몸짓으로만 말하면 안 되는 건가? 어떻게 생각하지, 파우스트 씨?
파우스트는 사양하고 싶어요. 저희가 매끄럽게 몸을 움직일 수 있는 상황이 그렇게 많지는 않을 것 같으니까요.
She's the one who spoke to me back in the forest. Her silver hair, glistening even without sunlight, gives off a rather mysterious air. So we can see!
단테.
Dante? Come to think of it, the man with red eyes has been calling me that too.
단테는 당신의 이름이에요. 이름까지 잊으셨군요.
How do you know that? Sure looks like it. It doesn't sound familiar at all.
점차 익숙해질 거랍니다.
I feel like I'm being tricked. Wait, you can understand me? The group that attacked me earlier, and that Vergi, or whatever he was called, ha! It's canon! Seemed to hear nothing but ticking from me.
파우스트에게는 제대로 된 단어로 들린답니다.
Oh, she hears the intentions of communication. God, that would be so helpful. You actually can, but how? I don't even have a real mouth.
그런 구시대적인 발상은 머리를 바꾸어서 생긴 건가요? 성대나 혀 따위의 발성기관이 있어야만 대화를 할 수 있다는 건 시대착오적인 이야기죠.
Anachronistic. Right. Never considered that.
당신의 말은 한 사람에게만 보낼 수도 있고 모두에게 전달할 수도 있답니다. 모두라는 말은 수정해야겠군요. 수감자들에게만 해당하는 이야기예요.
Why, though? Is she acting as the conduit for it? Sinners?
당신의 뒤에 앉아있는
Behind me?
당신을 대신해서 싸운 사람들을 말하는 겁니다.
그대가 이 여정을 함께할 마지막 조각인가? 얼마나 기다렸는지 모르네.
Finally, the character that speaks in old English.
아, 형씨. 머리통은 어디다가 팔아넘겼어?
당신이었군요. 당신 덕에 박살나 있던 척추가 말끔하게 돌아왔어요. 혹시 둥지에서 의사 일이라도 했나요?
다들 닥쳐라. 잡음이 겹치는 것만큼 불쾌한 것도 없으니
God, Virgilicious is a vibe.
자기 소개가 필요한 시점인가 보군. 그럼 가벼운 인사를 나눌 시간을 주겠다. 앞에 앉은 것부터 시작.
What is he, a kindergarten teacher? Everyone line up, single file line. We're gonna hold hands as we walk through the hallways.
왜 이런 건 항상 앞자리부터인지. 앞에 나서는 이제 진절머리가 나는데.
Then sit in the back, so you're not called on right away. That's a trick. You have to learn these things. It works in the classroom too. The furthest to the back you go, the more out of sight, out of mind you are. The teacher won't call on you. Then you make sure to raise your hand and answer one question a day so the teacher doesn't feel like you're just trying to hide. It's the easiest thing to master unless you have an assigned seat because you can't behave yourself, so you're right in the front. Well, he's Sinner 13. I didn't notice that before. How many sinners are there?
당신이 우리를 이끌 뭐더라? 관리자라고 하던데.
Why do they refer to it as a manager, not a boss or a leader? Are they stealing that from the corporations? Because this is supposed to be Limbus Company. I thought that was just going to be a really cute play on words. Company as in an army company and not a corporation company. And maybe that's true, but they go over the top with all of the similarities. Manager.
그래. 그래서 어떤 인물인지 굉장히 궁금했는데 말이야. 역시 뭔가 말을 만드는 건 어려워.
I know, it's the worst.
머리통은 어디 팔아먹었는지 모르겠지만 저마다 사정은 있는 법이니까.
If you're going to be so rude about my head, what did you do to your arm?
나는 그레고르라고 한다. 잘 부탁한다고 관리자 양반.
Don't call me Bud. I don't know why, I don't like Bud. You can call me anything else, but not Bud. Bud just feels like you're not even trying. This must be a synopsis of our first unit, Gregor. It looks like crab arm? Is that what this is supposed to be, as a crab claw? There's also dog tags, which might symbolize past military experience, or at least part of some sort of corporation security or something. This sinner is relatively easy to handle in terms of personality. However, an upsurge of emotion or sudden change of environment may cause parts or the whole of his body to transform into insectile, notably akin to a carapace, resembling that of the blank. And I'm assuming that blank is probably the perfect food bugs. Those are the only bugs or insects that I can remember from all of my experience with Project Moon. If you do not wish to be a rude manager, not that you're obligated to be nice, we recommend keeping your facial expression in check so that your disgust is not visible to him. He sometimes uses cynical language, but he can still be reasoned with, and you can get around him without much difficulty as long as you learn the knack of it. We have to manage all of their emotions?
그래.
Is this a gacha dating
양반이
sim?
뭐야 양반이. 이제부터 우리한테 엄청난 돈을 가져다 줄 사람한테.
And she's not just a muscled up beefcake. She's a greedy muscled up beefcake. How awesome.
그래?
Rich. What's that about?
양반보다는 단테. 이름으로 부를게. 당신도 나를 로제라고 불러.
Oh, Radaya. That's kind of a sweet name. I like that. Oh, she's a gambler. How awesome. She also does wield a giant axe, and that looks like a giant heart, so she's probably a heartbreaker. The unfortunate traits of being backstreets born are apparent in this sinner. She loves money, gambling, and betting, so it is advised to pay close attention to her as the manager. She tends to deflect orders with an unimpressive wink or a silly joke. We recommend taking a stern stance at times to remind her that you are her superior. Her mood may be down at irregular intervals, and there is nothing that you can do to aid her in that state, so we recommend waiting for it to pass. Why does their mood matter? It never mattered before.
난 당신이 우리의 관리자가 된 데 이유가 있다고 믿어. 분명 원래는 둥지에 굉장한 사람이었겠지. 그때 버릇을 조금만 내비쳐도 우리한테 돈이 주르륵 들어올 생각을 하니.
I'm glad you have so much faith in us. She sure is an extrovert. I'll give her that.
아차, 내 정신 좀 봐. 예, 다음은 네 차례야.
안녕하세요.
Sinclair? What a cutie you are!
아우, 시시해. 그게 끝이야?
싱클레어라고 해요.
And so awkward. Is this dude wielding a gigantic scythe? That would be so fitting for someone so tiny and awkward. Nope, just a huge polearm axe. That's so cool. Even with the volatile nature of human growth around his age taken into consideration, this sinner seems to get particularly startled or frown when spoken to. He isn't used to real combat at the moment, meaning that he may struggle to keep himself together at the sight of something as mild as spilt innards at first. As there may be those with violent tendencies among your crew, we recommend taking an approach focused on positive reinforcement with this sinner. He appears to possess a murderous gaze that he himself isn't aware of. This is a hopeful sign that he has the potential to grow into an expert of our company's profession with the right stimuli. I also really love the dichotomy of this character. This idea that they could be a cold-blooded killer, but they're very shy and introverted. And it's also reflected in the background here, especially with the symbolism of the serpent and what I'm assuming is the forbidden fruit. These characters are just as amazing as I was hoping they would be. This boy looks awfully unnerved. Did he even join this company of his own accord?
더 해야 할 말이 있나요? 회사는 처음이라.
Oh, you poor thing. You're in for a wild ride if this is your first attempt at a corporation job.
앞으로 남은 날은 많을 테니까. 그럼 거기 괴짜 친구가 다음 타자하자.
이상이라.
Nerdy? What makes this guy nerdy? He just seems sort of goth. I already love this guy. Straight to the point. We don't need to mince words. Formerly the youngest chief researcher at the Redacted Wing, this sinner possesses higher intelligence compared to most others. We estimate that everyday conversation with this sinner will prove difficult for managers selected by our current screening process. Avoiding communication altogether will pose a risk on its own, however. If the sinner remains silent for a long time, that means he is currently processing a line of deliberate thought. We recommend waiting patiently for him. That's it.
이상이요.
I like this guy. Straight to the point. I waited for him to see if he was being witty or something, but he just stared vacantly out the window, disinterested.
답답하네요. 사회생활의 첫걸음은 인사잖아요.
I don't know, I kind of like all the different introductions. It lets me know who they are as a person, just like Ishii seems to be very prim and proper.
저를 이스마일이라고 불러주세요.
Ishmael, oh, from Moby Dick. Now, you may be disheartened by the defective state of many of your sinners, but do not worry. This sinner is one of the few who can carry out most missions without any complaint. She is likely to make reasonable judgments, so it is a good idea to start conversations while looking her way if you're seeking sound advice. However, you mustn't forget, this sinner has survived an absurd voyage in a far and wide body of water. Her patience may run deep, but once you take a wrong turn with her, it will be a difficult task to regain her trust.
당신 덕택에 동강난 몸이 돌아왔다고 들었어요. 앞으로도 잘 부탁해요.
She gave a polite bow before returning to her seat. For someone who emphasized not being a misfit, she didn't feel like the most amicable sort. I was waiting for this guy.
히스클리프, 멋대로 부수고 깨부수는 일은 전문으로 하고 다녔지.
Heathcliff, this sinner prefers to take action rather than wait for logic to dictate his course. His thoughts and feelings are blatantly visible in his demeanor, and he has no intention of hiding them. His brashness may cause headaches or physical injury leading to a headache in the process of forming a relationship. Please do note that this is not an indication of serious damage to the sinner's thought process. If his fit of rage persists, please contact the Human Resources Department. Once you realize that he is the type that tends to be simple-minded, you'll have an easier time handling him. So we don't want to give him any thinky jobs. We just want to make sure that he's running in and bashing people, and he'll be super happy.
누가 시켜서가 아니라 거슬리는 것들에게 하고 다니긴 했지만. 당신도 조심하라고.
Got it.
나는
Thank you for the
윗사람이라고
warning.
거들먹거리는 사람한테 할 일이.
I don't think I've done anything to give that impression yet.
드디어 이 몸의 차례인가? 난 돈키호테일세.
I don't know how to say your name, but I love you already. Maybe like a Latin or a Spanish or Italian sort of vibe. So it would be Don Quixote. I know Don Quixote. I've heard that name before. I don't know why I've heard that name before. There is no sinner that can outmatch this one's level of passion if we were to measure it. An avid aficionado of all things Fixer, she adorns herself with a variety of Fixer-related merchandise. They won't affect her performance in combat one way or another, so there is no need for you to restrict her from keeping her decorations. She is deeply immersed in the role of righteous Fixer, hence the exaggerated mannerisms akin to those of an actor. Has such a thing ever existed, really? It's advised to play along with her for a smooth mission. This is the dude from Fire Force. I just have to play along with her, that she's a holy paladin setting out on a holy mission to save this world. I can already tell that she's gonna be so fun.
그대와 함께 꿈을 향해 달려갈 해결사지. 잘 부탁하네.
A fixer. That definitely feels like a term I used to know.
해결사 말인가? 내가 대답해줄 수 있네. 도시를 수호하는 자들이지.
Oh, she heard me! We've already gotten the knack for talking to people. Also, I'm not sure if she had stars in her eyes before, but she does now.
아, 도시에 대해서도 제대로 기억하지 못하겠군. 도시는
나는 가벼운 인사를 나누라고 했던 것 같은데.
Oh, relax, Virgilicious. It's fine.
두 번 말하게 하지
I love the
않았으면
moxie.
좋겠어. 다음.
홍루라고 한답니다. 잘해보자고요, 우리.
Oh, this guy. Of course, there's always got to be a dreamboat. This is the dude that's gonna betray us. I can already feel it in my gut. It's always the handsome ones, isn't it? A sinner who had lived an affluent life before becoming our company's asset. As such, he has a certain admiration for a free life, but occasionally he may make ignorant and unsavory questions in regards to the food cooked by a certain other sinner, or other aspects of the lowlife's lowly culture. This can cause significant irritation for the other sinners. However, it is important to note that no sarcastic undertones are contained in his curiosity-driven inquiries, so it is ill-advised to let them get physical over it. That's sort of unfortunate, but I think I know a couple people he might work well with. Depends on what that is. He has this weird staff
요새
thing.
유행하는 모델인가 보죠?
The stupid questions have already started. No, this isn't that kind of.
제 취향은 아니지만.
저건 무슨
Would you let me
말씀이지?
finish? Maybe people wouldn't get so mad if he didn't interrupt them while they were trying to explain their answer. Heathcliff looked to be just moments away from swinging his bat. But when he noticed the red gaze laid on him, he grunted and sat himself back down. As they say, every person has their own creed, and it's only right to respect it as the executive manager. But with some creeds, you will have difficulty in even simply pretending to sympathize. You will have noticed that the sinner in question is a silent chain smoker, whose eyes shine with a euphoric gleam only during battle. She believes that senselessly destroying the enemy's heads is an uncultured act and a step backward for art. Caution, this sinner's background is one that even our company may have trouble handling. It is advised against making her breed personal resentment towards you. So, she's a professional killer, one that considers it an art form, which means that we need to be oh so careful who we assign her with, because they are going to rub her the wrong way. At what point was I supposed to laugh?
메르소,
I don't
그렇게
know.
불러주시겠습니까?
Now this dude has to be the most reliable one out of the bunch. Unless there's some weird backstory about this guy too. Wants clear and concise commands, requiring no judgment on his part. Oh, he's a giant dummy. No, one of these guys has got to be the most reliable one out of the bunch. No, I actually love that each one of them has some sort of weird character flaw. It makes them way more interesting. You're polite.
특별한 것이 아닙니다. 그저 보통의 태도입니다.
I'm almost touched. Thanks.
네.
It felt as though something was gravely amiss with him, but I couldn't quite tell what. Otis! What's up with you? You're the one that gives me the most complicated vibes. The way she scanned me up and down was a little daunting. I felt almost compelled to bow to her, but she stopped me with a motion of her hand. Bowed to her, but she stopped me with a motion of her hand.
관리자님이 먼저 자세를 굽히려 하다니 당치도 않습니다. 본인은 오티스라고 합니다. 이전에 실례했던 부분을 사과드리고 싶습니다.
I try my best not to thirst after video game characters, but my god, polite, confident, and a whole well put together vibe. Whoa, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be really tough. Oh, Roland, my guy, you have some competition. Otis, this sinner could serve as an excellent advisor depending on your capability. However, she also has a meddlesome tendency, so it is recommended to keep her satisfied with short replies of agreement. She is an expert when it comes to tactics and various pearls of wisdom about life, making her advice all the more valuable for your mission. In addition, she possesses a vast knowledge of workshop technologies. You could trust her with simple repairs of the bus. Notice, unlike other sinners, accessing records pertaining to the past of this sinner is not permitted. What do you mean that her background's been completely redacted? I am so morbidly curious about Otis now. Roland, no, my heart, it's being torn apart. Warning, keep an eye on this sinner and beware that she does not exercise her cunning intellect for purposes other than completing our company's mission. Ah, this one's going to be a troublemaker and a really smart one too. I hate having to keep such a close eye on one of my comrades. Rudeness.
이거 참 마음마저 이렇게 넓으실 줄이야.
Oh wait, never mind. There's the character flaw I was looking for.
역시 처음부터 저희를 이끄실 분이라는 걸 한눈에 알아봤습니다.
Your confidence in me is much appreciated. What?
인간의 대부분은 서로가 맞붙어 소음과 마찰을 이끌어내지만 그중 소수는 맞붙는 것으로 서로에게 이득이 되는 경우가 있다고 합니다. 검을 날카롭게 벼르기 위해선 그만큼 강한 숫돌이 필요한 것처럼 누구보다 관리자님을 위해 헌신하겠습니다. 편히 써주시기를.
Man, I have to be on edge though. Those are very beautiful words, and anytime there are beautiful words in the city, usually there's a double meaning. That's reassuring. Thanks. I gave her an approving nod. Even though I didn't get what she meant by her rudeness.
아까 숲에서는 불쌍하게 나뒹군다고 말하더니 잘도 그런 말을 성대 밖으로 꺼낼 수 있네요.
I think I get it now.
제가 마지막이네요. 파우스트입니다.
I feel like Faust is set up to be the one that's the favorite. Because she resembles Angela, she resembles Carmen a little bit. The piercing eyes, the same face shape, the basic hair design, the way she carries herself. The fact that she was the first one to be able to hear us and interact with us. The fact that she's the one that was bringing us in. It's all setting it up where we're supposed to love her. So I instantly have this bad vibe about her. But that's just past experience from Project Moon, so I don't want to overcorrect my feelings either. I'm going to give every single one of these sinners a fair shot at being my favorite. Faust, the sinner who developed the engine of Mephistopheles, the bus operated by Limbus Company. She made this? Dang, she's amazing. She claims that there is no one in the city who could rival her library of knowledge and wisdom, and she isn't necessarily wrong. You might find her high and mighty attitude when she allows you to converse with her displeasing. But as seen with how she treats everyone with subtle gestures of arrogance, there is no hope of her parting with it, ever. We recommend simply nodding once and getting over it. Even though she has an unparalleled genius, we can't quite figure out how to use this one. Perhaps you could be the one to find out. I've got a few ways, depending on what job we get.
당신의 인생 중 한 번 만날까 말까한 천재죠.
Phew, that is such an abrupt about face to the character I thought she was.
납득하지 못한 듯한 반응이군요, 단테. 괜찮습니다. 경험을 통해 차차 이해할 수 있을 거예요.
Learn what?
파우스트가 진귀한 천재였다는 사실 말이에요.
That's not always a good thing in the city, but I will keep that in mind.
관측자가 깨닫지 못한다 하여 사실이 진실이 되는 일은 없으니까요.
Okay.
소개는 여기까지. 단테, 당신의 직무를 알려드리죠.
Please do, because I still don't know what I'm doing. You mean as the manager?
관리자를 말하는 거냐고 묻고 있어요.
Come to think of it, the man with red eyes couldn't hear me, unlike the sinners.
맞습니다. 관리자 단테. 당신은 지금 소개받은 이 12의 수감자와 함께 지옥을 기행하게 될 것입니다.
What is the inferno? Please explain that one to me. The inferno? Why should I go to hell?
자신이 지옥으로 가야 하는 이유를 묻네요.
지옥의 끝에는 보물이 기다리고 있으니까 그렇게 말하면 되겠습니까?
No, because treasure means different things to different people. I would like something more concrete or objective. I don't. You mean I used to be a treasure hunter or something?
아예 알아듣질 못하는군요.
이해를 요구한 건 아닙니다, 단테. 의사를 물은 것도 아니죠. 기억과 머리를 되찾고 싶다면 제 말을 들어야 할 겁니다.
Do I? Do we want that? Is that something we're after? I mean, I do want them back, but...
이적거리네요.
파우스트 씨, 단테가 계속해서 거부하면 우린 어떻게 되는 거지?
무슨 말씀을? 파우스트는 모든 것을 예상한답니다.
Oh, it is an Angela! A supercomputer-style brain that thinks that they know everything. This feels like home.
단테, 모든 임무를 마치고 나면 당신은 성위를 새길 수 있을 거예요. 제가 보증하죠.
Aspect, a word that pierces through my mind. Even though my memories are gone, my underlying instincts respond strongly to it. And led by those instincts, I make my choice.
보이죠? 고개를 끄덕이잖아요.
좋아, 계속 가면 되겠어. 그런데 카론, 아까부터 왜 출발을 안 하고 있지? 졸았나?
버스 기사는 졸음 쉼터에서만 졸아, 베르. 메피 앞에 이상한 놈들이 서성이고 있었어.
카론, 말했잖아. 버스에 무슨 일이 생기면 곧바로 알려야 한다니까.
Mephi? Who's that?
메피스토펠레스. 이 버스의 이름이자 버스를 구동하는 엔진의 이름. 그리고 파우스트의 심혈을 기울인 역작이죠.
So proud, aren't you?
지옥을 순항하기에는 걸맞는 나룻배가 아닐 수 없지. 그렇게 생각하지 않습니까?
I wasn't sure what he was getting at, so I turned away to look through the window instead of giving him a reply.
보아하니 뒷골목에 기거하는 익숙한 쥐새끼들이군.
Are we already into the back streets? So we've traveled a long way if we came through the
마침
forest.
잘 됐습니다, 단테. 지휘를 연습하기는 더할 나위 없는 조건이군요.
단테, 처음 전투에서는 생략한 부분이 많았어요.
I figured there was no way that combat was going to be that simple. Otherwise, I might just have skipped over all of the combat and just gone from story point to story point.
제대로 설명할 시간이 없었으니까요. 하지만 그런 식으로만 전투가 이뤄지면 우리는 항상 도륙날 거고 당신은 우리를 살리기 위해 의미 없는 고통을 느껴야만 하겠죠.
I guess that's true. So I love that there's a lore reason why time can be turned back. No longer do we have T Corp doing it, it's us. It's D Corp doing it. Pain. To revive you? You mean what happened earlier was...
네. 당신이 시계를 돌려주었기에 우리는 살아나는 거랍니다.
당장 필요한 설명은 아닌 듯합니다, 파우스트 씨. 자잘한 담소는 나중에. 너희들 전원 하차.
Oh, that was the air brake on the bus. I was wondering what that weird sound was.
전투에 대한 설명을 이어가죠.
Well, I guess we're still in the tutorial. We were introduced to all the sinners, which is awesome. But do I get to pick now? I want to pick them. You could send every sinner into battle at once. Yes, but commanding so many personnel at once will not be an easy task. So they're going to break it down to how many? 5? Wasn't that what we had before? I can handle. Yeah, it looks like 5. I see it over in the corner. Select 5 sinners you would like to deploy for this battle. Select the lower half of each sinner's cards to deploy them. Select to battle to begin the encounter with the currently deployed sinners. To battle! These 7-sided icons floating above both the allies and the enemies' heads are called skill slots. So that's what these are. Each one of them looks like they do a specific attack and do a specific amount of damage. Or is this the order that they're in? Because you haven't issued a command by chaining skills yet, the allied skill slots are currently empty. Grab the chain from the left gear and chain it to one of these 2 leftmost skills on the dashboard. Equipped skills are displayed on the skill slots floating above each sinner's head. When the combat phase begins, each sinner will engage in battle using the skills equipped in their skill slots. Drag from left to right on the dashboard to equip every sinner with one of the skills on their respective columns. Do I not get to choose who I attack either? Guess not. Does this change anything? No. Well done. Now select the gear on the right to issue your command, and the sinners will enter the combat phase using the skills you've equipped for them. Whoa, this is so cool. They're all attacking all at once, and that's how it should have been before. I loved the turn-based combat that we had before, but everybody all attacking at once is how it would be. Now please issue a command. Got it. Totally on board. A clash. A clash occurs when the sinner and their target both use attack skills against each other. So similar to what we had before. In a clash, their power is determined primarily by the skill they are using to clash. And in this clash between 2 skills, the skill with the higher power wins. Pay attention to the enemy's coins. When a skill loses a clash, it will lose a coin. Even if a skill loses a clash, as long as it has remaining skill coins, the 2 skills will continue to flip their coins and clash until one of them loses all coins. So that's how multi-strike attacks work. So you pick a skill that has multiple coins, and it'll continue to have that same power every flip of the coin. The skill that lost all of its coins in this clash will conclusively lose the clash. This means that the unit that won the clash gets to attack, while the unit that lost does not. So that's how clashes are going to work. It's going to get so complicated with everyone attacking everyone at once. And looking at all of the different clashes, you really do have to plan ahead of the fight before you press the attack button. Let's see how power, which determines the outcome of a clash, is calculated. Please issue a command.
게시합니다.
This number is the skill's base power before it flips any coins. So each attack doesn't have the range that we had before, 2 to 10. It has 2 numbers it could be. Could be a 2 or it could be a 10. And the coin flips, and whatever it lands on, that's the base power. And then whatever this plus is gets added to that. This is making sense. I like this. This number is the skill's coin power. Here you can see how many coins these skills have. The number of coins determines 2 things. How many times the skill can lose a clash before losing all of its coins. How many times the skill hits when it attacks. Oh, but there's more. Each coin that flips heads will add the coin power of that skill to the base power of that same skill. Oh, wait, no, never mind. I didn't understand it before. I get it now. So this didn't add +2, it adds +4 because each one of these coins. And it can do that multiple times. The formula for a skill's final power is as follows. Base power plus number of coins that flipped heads times the coin power. Coins that flipped heads will glow, while the coins that flipped tails will appear dimmed. The resultant skill power is displayed here. Ishmael's loggerhead skill has the higher skill power, so the enemy skill loses a coin. But then it can still go again, and they did roll heads, so they still added the 1 coin base value. So then what happens if I were to lose that first clash? Would they keep their 2 coins for both attacks, or does the power gradually step down as the multi-attack happens? I'm assuming that it gradually steps down in power, so that first attack is always going to be the biggest attack. As seen in this example, they will continue to clash until one of them has no more coins left to flip. The unit with remaining coins ultimately wins that clash. Remember, winning clashes is one of the most fundamental aspects of winning the battle. That was actually the case in Library 2, so I'm totally used to that. Wow, they did not stand a chance. We've minced over half of them. Now what? Am I just on my own? Might just be on my own. Let's do it. These guys are so screwed. We are so overpowered for this fight. And I'm really happy about that because I didn't need another butt whooping like we had before.
아까보다는 쓸만해 보이는군요, 단테.
They all got away, save for one, though. Shouldn't we go after them?
놓친 적을 걱정하네요.
걱정할 건 없습니다. 마침 가야 할 길이었으니. 가론.
Is she gonna run them down?
발판을 꽂고 신나는 기분으로 달릴게.
Oh, she's gonna run them down. A cold, dark soul wrapped in an adorable package. The sinners you have deployed in the last encounter will automatically be selected for the next, saving you the trouble of selecting them again. Feel free to change them before entering the battle, however. I'm kind of disappointed she didn't run them over now, but this gives us more opportunities to learn about combat. This time, let us learn about SP, or sanity points. SP has a maximum value of 45 and a minimum value of -45. Please note that the sinner's SP values can also be viewed here, next to these orbs adjacent to the portrait icons on the dashboard. Each unit's SP values change based on certain triggers. They tend to heal SP with favorable triggers, winning clashes or killing enemies, and lose SP with unfavorable triggers. So how much did we gain? A lot! We gained 12 just from winning those clashes. That's awesome. The higher the unit's SP value, the higher the chance to flip heads when flipping skill coins. So that's what SP does here. And that's terrifying, because if you start losing SP and you're flipping more tails, you're going to be losing more clashes. And if you're losing more clashes, your SP is going to tank. So how do you pull yourself out of that? The allied units all won their respective clashes in the previous turn, which healed their SP. This put us in a favorable position. Please issue your next command. Got it. Please direct your attention to this unit's HP bar. This thin line here is called the stagger threshold. So now, instead of cracking somebody's SP, you just bring their health down far enough and they'll get staggered. When a unit's HP drops below the stagger threshold line, they become staggered. Does that mean that they don't act next turn and they take extra damage, similar to Library? Staggered units cannot take any action and take double the damage, which puts them at a significant disadvantage in battle. That's just like Library. Awesome. I don't have to think about that too hard. Everything is either unopposed or dominating. This is going to be such a big turn. Big move time! You've put the remaining enemies in panic states by defeating their allies in the previous turn, which dropped their SP. So panic is still a thing. That's awesome! When an enemy's SP drops below a certain threshold, they may enter low morale or panic states, which inflict them with negative effects. Each unit gains different effects from entering low morale or panic states. Select this icon to learn what effects this unit is suffering from. This one here, panic, does not act for this turn. Also, this one too? Yep, because it's overwhelmed. I can already see where the combat's going to be just as detailed as Library was. But not this combat, because this one's already over.
잠시만요.
Man, this is so cool.
뭐죠?
저는 정체되지 않고 나아갈 수 있다는 말에 여기에 합류한 거예요. 그런데 지금은 쥐새끼도 아니고 계속 의미 없는 폭력만.
She has a point.
의미가 없진 않소. 저들은 우리를 공격하는 악이지 않소.
시끄러워요. 좀 조용히 좀 해봐요. 아무튼 이런 용역 폭력단 같은 행동만 명령할 거라면 다른 일을 하는 것도 고민해봐야 할 것 같아요.
입사 계약서를 제대로 안 읽으셨나요? 회사는 허용될 수 없답니다.
That's unfortunate.
계약하면서 말한 이야기가 거짓말이라도 그 계약이 효력이 있을 거라 생각하는 건가요?
당연히 효력이 있죠. 애초에 거짓말은 없었으니까.
네?
설마 제가 메피스토 팰레스를 그저 운송만 하는 버스로 만들었을 것 같았나요?
메피는 항상 배고프다. 그래서 울어.
Oh my god, is that what we're doing? We're using the people as fuel? It already got super dark super fast! Yay! Woo! Set the stage early! The bus gets hungry.
엔진이 연료를 섭취할 때 생기는 부산물. 여러분은 그걸 통해 강해질 수 있어요. 이상 씨는 잘 알고 계시겠죠? 거울 속에서 모든 가능성을 끄집어낸다면
성장 또한 제약이 없어. 거울 속에 나는 나인가 아니면 또 다른 누구인가.
The creepiness is so amazing. Possibilities. What exactly are you drawing out? We're still in the tutorial! Oh, this is so exciting! Looks like we might be at the gacha part of the gacha game. We need to extract from the chains either ego or a new character. Wait, was it just one that we pulled? Don't we get a bonus if we do a 10 pull, like most gacha games? Oh, we got an Ishmael. Is it the same Ishmael, or is this one of those gacha games where each character has their own unique variants of themselves and they don't stack? Now it's brand new, so that's not the Ishmael that I know. Is this one better? Is that the S tier Ishmael? You have acquired a new identity. Collecting new identities and ego will be contributive to improving our combat performance. Now let us return to battle. Battles can be assessed via the drive window. So it looks like we only have Inferno, and we're still in the prologue. And this must be the timeline of events for the story. And it looks like it might take energy. Right now it's 0, so that must be what this is. And then there are energy boxes, so that's the potential energy box. And the whatever those are, potential energy orbs? I'm assuming that those will probably restore our energy over time, or similar to other gacha style games like this, you can probably wait and it fills up over time. Select the top part of the Sinner's card to swap them out for a different identity. From this menu, you may select one of the identities you have extracted to deploy them into battle. Please select the new acquired identity for Ishmael. So does each identity have to do with the background of each character and their story? So we'll learn more about them as we get new identities? Or is it just randomly associated with things that we've seen in the past? And I guess we won't know that answer until we play more and get further in. Good luck! Selecting identities appropriate for the particularities of each battle is the path to victory.
그렇군요. 이런 걸 의미했던 건가요?
너무 마음이 급할 필요는 없어요, 이스마엘. 버스가 향하면 자연히
시정잡배 같은 일보다 중요한 걸 맡게 될 거야. 목표에 도달하는 게 마음을 재촉하고 있겠지만
거울 세계에 있는 우리들의 모든 가능성 중 하나를 끄집어내는 거니까.
And it overwrites
기억이
part
조금
of
더
your
쉬워졌을
memories? So this isn't part of her past experience. It is a possibility that she had. She could have become part of the She Association. And this is the Ishmael then that did that. Or at least that fuses with her.
곧 익숙해질 거예요.
뭐야, 그거 좀 위험해 보이는데? 이러다가 내가 아니게 되는 거 아니야?
That might not be a bad thing.
여러분은 테세우스의 배가 아니에요. 인격과 기억을 빌리기는 하겠지만 주도권을 잃도록 설계되어 있지는 않아요.
Oh, that's good news. You just become a more badass version of yourself.
나는 사뭇 다를 수 있으나 거울 밖을 벗어나면 거울 속의 형체 또한 잃기에.
저희가 어떻게 성장할지는 단테 씨에게 달렸어요. 거울 세계의 다양한 가능성을 가장 효과적인 타이밍에
Oh,
더
great.
쉬운 일을
Put all
하실
of the responsibility on me.
메타모르포시스를 말하는
Appreciate it.
네, 일종의 탈퇴이자 변신이라 할 수 있죠.
어머? 그런 어려운 단어는 어디서 알았대?
주워들었다. 이 사람 저 사람 많이 만나봐야 하는 일을 했었거든.
변신이라.
담소는
We're learning so much about each character just by listening to them chatting with one another.
일단
Keep yapping so we can pay attention.
어차피 지겨울 정도로 붙어 있을 테니 못다한 말은 나중에.
You can now select a unit to view their detailed information window.
내가 보고 싶었던 거야?
Oh, there's a lot here. I guess this is going to be super important for us to know, though. This is where you view each character's basic stats. Yep, looks pretty good. Wind, fire, DNA, rock, nature, wind, sword, and whatever that is. Dark, antimatter, and antimatter. So wind and antimatter, they're fatal to. Also, they are not very resistant to piercing damage. Then there's all of this over here, too. What is cast? That's a Zayn. So is this the different forms that she can take? So maybe these are her upgrades. She has a Zayn upgrade currently. Then once she hits tier 3, she unlocks this. Otherwise, she only has these skills, I think. So far, I'm sort of understanding what's happening, but there's a lot here. I'm sure that we'll pick it up as we go to. You may also select an enemy to view their detailed information. Why? They're going to be dead soon. I won't need to worry about it. Each unit has resistance values. Use these values to determine what attack type or affinity they are weak against. That would be great if I could select my target, which I'm assuming I will eventually. Each skill's damage is classified by 2 categories, 3 attack types and 7 sin affinities. The target's resistance to these categories can either increase or reduce the damage dealt. A higher resistance value on a unit means they will take more damage from that damage type. Oh, here it is. Wrath, Lust, Sloth, Gluttony, Gloom, Pride, and Envy. I kind of like that. It diversifies the typing a little bit more than just the rock, paper, and scissors of Pierce, Blunt, and Slash. Check your enemy's weaknesses and select the skills that can exploit them to deal more damage. Well, can't I just go here and figure that out? Because this says dominating, and then this is just No, dominating. Then this is just neutral. Both of these are just favored. So I'm going to go ahead and do Slashy. Oh, are we winning? Are we losing? I can't tell. I thought it was hard to keep track before. Oh no, we lost this one for sure. I found a clash we lost. In most cases, the unit with the leftmost skill on the dashboard will be the first to act among allies. So always 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. An ally gains 1 additional slot with every passing turn. This means that they gain an extra opportunity to attack. That's actually pretty cool though, because the longer that fight goes on, the stronger we're going to get. And I'm assuming the more resonances that we can have, the stronger the attacks will. So I'm going to do 2 Gloom and 2 Gluttony and hope that that does what I think it does. If not, I'm making horrible mistakes by doing this. But I feel like resonating is much better than just doing favorable attacks. So I feel like even if I have to pick a neutral attack, if I can resonate, I will try that one. Unless it's a dominating attack, then maybe that's better. And again, these are all things that we can figure out as we go. Use one of these buttons to let the sinners choose what skills they want to use. However, it must be emphasized that leaving the sinners to make their own strategic choices could lead to suboptimal combat performances. Probably, but if we're so overpowered that there's only one of them left, I think I'll be okay. Clash Outcome Forecast. The Clash Outcome Forecast appears at the top of the screen and beside each selected skill. Please note that the forecast is not always perfect, but it is serviceable when quick decisions are necessary. Oh, so that's what it means by dominating and favored. It's the clash, not the skill itself. So I could have been using suboptimal, really resistant attacks that just were gonna win the clash. I feel like that's better anyway. I want to win clashes. Because if we don't take damage, we can't lose. And as long as we don't lose, we will always win. Because we're going to get stronger as the fight goes on. This dude is not going to act this turn, so we're going to do all damage all day. Holy crap. That is one heck of a combo. Let's do it. I don't think this guy's going to make it through the entire chain, but here's hoping. That poor guy. He was so screwed. Man, I'm already having so much fun.
하지만 베르, 메피가 달리기만 했어도 길은 뚫렸을 거야.
Huh? What was the point of putting me through all that fighting then? Vergilius stepped in at the sight of my rattling head and agitated gestures.
진정하시죠, 단테. 걸음마도 떼지 못한 아이에게 달리기를 시킬 순 없지 않겠습니까?
Yeah, Dante, calm down. We're still in the tutorial.
걸어볼 기회가 있다면 직접 걷고 나서 달리셔야죠. 그리고 단테, 당신은 관리자. 저들의 관리를 하는 게 업무입니다.
Right, so we're probably gonna need to keep a level head then.
나는 길잡이. 어디를 가고 어떻게 개척할지는 내가 판단합니다.
But you're the strongest dude here. I need you to fight.
알겠습니까? 부달지 말라고.
That's scary. How am I supposed to not question a stranger who can't even hear me?
째깍거리긴 하는데 뭐라고 하는 거지, 파우스트 씨?
별말 없었습니다.
긍정을 성대하기도 하는군. 앞으론 고개만 끄덕여도 좋습니다, 단테.
그럼 메피, 출발하자. 야호.
Woohoo.
결혼 기분이
She's
어때?
too cute for her own good.
매우 신나. 날아갈 것 같습니다, 카론.
See, there it is. There's the other side of that coin. Creepy. So, where are we going?
베르길리우스, 그가 목적지를 묻습니다.
말했던 것 같습니다만, 단테.
But just where are we going? With his sigh, the bus shuddered and started to rumble forward. He already explained it. We're going to hell.
출발할게.
Buckle up.
부릉부릉.
지옥으로 출발하지.
Oh, there it is. God, so beautiful. Are those flashes of the past? Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, these are definitely flashes of the past, aren't they? Although it could technically be the multiverse mirror thing that we were peering into. These could just be the thems that they never became. So much confusion. So many questions. This is so awesome.